everybody. Hope everybody had a fabulous Sunday. Had such a relaxing day. I am going to quickly do, well, there's no quick involved, so y'all know. You know the drill. Go get yourself something to drink or even eat for this one, because we have to name 10 things we love, and let me tell you, 10 is really, really hard, Connie. But Connie posted this tag. Her channel's Cherish My Dolls, everyone. She's new in the community, and I think it's a great tag. Before I do that, I'm just going to do a couple things I need to tidy up in here, so I figured I'd do that while I chatted. You won't just stare at Saskia. I will kind of move you around to look at the babies in a minute, but I'm going to actually pack her back up while I talk. So we had a nice weekend. My husband did have to work a bit on Saturday, but he had yesterday off. We were planning to go to the Dallas World Aquarium, but the weather was really bad here. We had lots of storms, and I had looked up Dallas's weather in the morning because we would have gone in the morning, and they were getting quite the storms. And we're learning that storms in Texas are not a joke. It gets very, very bad quickly in terms of hail and floods and stuff like that. So anyway, we opted not to go, so we just kind of had a jammy day. Watched the movie called The Letters, which is about Mother Teresa, so I absolutely loved that. And just, I am working on my website. Don't know if and when I'll launch it, but I am building it. It does take me a while to do stuff like that, as I've shared with y'all. So I spent a lot of time doing that yesterday, but just had a very, very nice, relaxing day. These might be different size bags. Her legs don't fit in that one. Maybe her arms went in her leg bag. Let's see. So anyway, I am way behind on videos. Didn't really watch many. I saw a couple on Saturday while I was rooting. I did spend a little bit of time rooting, and then I ended up getting on the phone, so I stopped. So I did watch a handful of videos, and I've commented on them already. I saw lots of people got their Saskia kits, and also that a number of you have already done this tag, but as I've said before, I prefer not to watch them until I have done the answers myself. I've just messed this all up, ladies. I think the head went in the leg bag. Let's try this again. So anyway, I do want to answer this, and you know I will be verbose because that's who I am, so so I hope y'all enjoy. But I did think about this off and on yesterday as I was doing things, because it was very hard. I just started listing things in my head, because I'm somebody who believes we need to count our blessings and be grateful for things in our lives. And so to stop at 10 was very hard. So I'm going to do my best. So the tag is name 10 things that I love. So number 1 for me is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For those of you who know that I'm a Christian, I have talked about it in my videos. I'm not somebody to preach to other people, but I do know that without Jesus, my life would be an absolute mess. So that is my number 1. Number 2 is my husband. As I've told you all, I wrote a list when I was young and was, you know, prayed for my husband for most of my life. Let me turn y'all that way. You can look at them for a little bit. My husband is an absolutely amazing man. He is just a gift to me on this earth. And I am so grateful and thankful to him and thankful to God every day for bringing him into my life. His perspective on things is just amazing, and he's so intelligent and loving and caring and forgiving and kind, and I could go on and on. But my number 2 is my husband. Before your number 3, I want to show you all, because when I laid Saskia out without, you know, obviously without her body, with the blanket for her body, I did measure her, and she measured 20 inches, and I looked up, she's supposed to be 22.5, and I did lay her body in there. But for those of you who haven't gotten her, her body like has this great stretch to it, which is kind of cool. Anyway, she's stretchier than any other body I've ever had. They usually have a little, but she's got quite some give to her, which is kind of cool. Okay. Going on. What did I say? My husband, so he was 2. My number 3, so I'm going to kind of lump things together so I can make it sound like 10. Hope that's all right, Connie. My number 3, I would say family and friends. So, people that I know. My mom, of course, she is, my husband and her are my, sounding boards. They're my best friends. I have other best friends as well. I mean, I hate that term really, but, my mother's obviously been here with me my entire life. She knows me like nobody else. She has got to watch the progression of me grow and develop from a baby to who I am now, and has enjoyed the journey, as have I, but I do want to single out my mom in the family department because my mother is just a blessing. We talk nearly every day. She does still live in Illinois, and I try to, we try to see each other when we can, but I do adore my mother. And then I have many friends that I've known for a very, very long time. I still have a lot of my friends that I've known from my teenage years and in my 20s. We've remained friends. I love when I go to Chicago getting together with them because most of them are still there. I also have friends all over the world. When I was a nanny, there was a time where in the town I was working, many of the families switched from having a nanny to getting au pairs. So I was blessed to meet many young ladies from England, France, South Africa, Spain, and many of us have remained friends. We keep in touch. We used to actually mail each other letters, believe it or not, until the internet kind of took over for us, but we do remain in contact, many of us, and so that is really fun. I'm going to prop you all up a little bit here so you can see the bigger ladies for a moment, maybe. See if my camera will cooperate. Or my tripod. My camera's hunky-dory. Anyway, so yeah, family and friends and children too. I mean, children are a huge part of my life. I was a teacher for 5 years and a nanny for over 20 years. So children, I think, are so undervalued in the world. Children can teach us so much, not only about the world and life, but about ourselves. As I recently said in a video, that children mirror back to you, and sometimes that's fabulous, and sometimes we learn what we need to change in our lives. And there are special children throughout the years that have stood out, and all y'all know Gabriel is one of them. He's the little boy in the orphanage in Ethiopia who I just adore, and the children I've nannied for, I'm blessed that I keep in touch with most of them. So, so that would be like family, friends, and children all lumped into one. And all of my friends that I've met on YouTube, many of you we communicate outside of YouTube, which is just a blessing. And many of you just watching your channels and checking in with you is just, in the comments, because, I'm one who kind of writes long comments, so it's really fun to dialogue with many of you. So yeah, so I love family, friends, and children. Number 4 would be myself, and I'm not saying that in a self-centered way. I think it's very important that I take care of myself and understand and accept myself so that I can bestow those same virtues on other people. I think naturally I bestow them on other people much better than I do myself in past years. But I will say in the last probably 5 to 10 years, I have learned that if I don't restore my soul and give my soul the grace I give other people, then I don't have that to give out. It's kind of like when you're on a plane and they tell you if the oxygen masks drop, if you have children or somebody with you who needs assistance, to put your oxygen mask on first. It's because if you're not getting oxygen, you could possibly pass out before you are able to finish helping that person and then in turn not help yourself. So it's very important to restore ourselves and do things that bring us joy so that we can give out. If you have, an empty well, you can pump and pump all you want. You're not going to get anything out of it. So I do care for myself. It's so funny. I've said this to many people for many, many years, and I've taught this to children because we all have periods of our life where we get discouraged or feel down about things. I am not immune to that, but again, I am a huge believer in self-talk. And if I'm having like a down moment or day, I always tell myself, this is just a hiccup in life. You're going to get through it. And I remind myself of good things and talk myself out of it because life is short and I want to enjoy this journey very much. But anyway, so I often tell people, and I've, raised children with this, and not to sound crass, and I may have said this on a video before, but when you were created, so to speak, of all the sperm, you won. You fought to be here. There is a reason you are here. You won that race. You started out a winner. So you need to stay on that course and keep thinking of yourself as a winner. And we all have different things to offer in this world, which is fabulous. Because if we all were the same, it'd be really boring. And so it's kind of like I look at my, going back to 3, I look at my family and friends as like a quilt. It's a tapestry. Each person brings a different panel, and when you sew it all together, it's beautiful. And so I think it's very important how we perceive ourselves. And again, I don't mean this in an arrogant way, but I think it's very important that we do love ourselves and take time each day, even if it's only 5 minutes, to do something that restores you. And I'll get onto that later with something else I love, things that I do that do allow me to restore myself. Because again, if you're always giving out, you're going to run dry. Okay, so that was 4. So 5. Number 5, I guess I'll kind of call it gifts. Gifts, like the gifts I have, which to me are my arts and crafts, I guess. Well, not just arts and crafts. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to narrow that too much. So, because I feel my gifts are not only just the things I create with my hands, because I see myself as a teacher or a counselor. It's funny because all growing up, even in my childhood and teenage years and till now, many of my friends will refer to me as their counselor. As Mandy said in her video, I'm an old soul. I was just born with this ability to see things differently than most people and get a different twist on it, I guess. And I don't know if it's just innate in me or if it's my life experiences. I do most of my teaching, especially children I nanny for, through stories. I share stories of real life events that have happened to either me or other children I've nannied, things like, because I think the best way to learn is through either the experience or hearing about the experience, then making the choice. So like for children who are, let's say, not cleaning, I will share the story of how I managed that with another child and let them know this is how I'm going to handle it. So you make the choice. If you don't want to clean, this is the route we're going to go down. And so I think passing on stories of life is fabulous. And if you have children, honestly, just share your stories of your childhood. I don't know how many times, for years and years and years as a nanny, even now when I see some of the kids, they'll be like, can you tell that story about when you did this as a child? And it's so fascinating that they remember, and they just love hearing stories of childhood. Also, I've always been able, as I said about kits, to see the beauty in people and things that a lot of people miss. I typically, growing up, befriended the underdogs, like the kids who got made fun of and stuff. Not on purpose. I was always drawn to those people. As I said, in high school, I kind of popped between the different cliques, so to speak. I never belonged to one clique. I just was friends with certain people for, the quilt tapestry. They were who was in my life for that time. And I think I've said before, and it's something I do ponder, and, I I don't know the answer to this, and I don't know why it's this way, but some of our friends are what's called seasoned friends, and other ones are forever friends, and I've never understood why. And I'm not talking about people who do you wrong and you have to end a friendship, because that is part of life too, but I'm talking about people that just kind of fade away. Nothing bad happened, you just kind of learned everything you needed to from that person, and I think certain people are brought into your life either to teach you things or for you to learn from. That's the same thing. Or you teach them things. That's what I mean. Either they're learning something from you or you're learning something from them. And then I think when that happens, sometimes it just kind of fades away, that the mission was accomplished. And sometimes that saddens me because I have such a fabulous memory. There are people I can think back on and I wonder where they are. And I will look them up and try to find some of them and can't. And I guess that's confirmation that, don't look back. Don't try to bring things back, because everything you or that person needed from the relationship has happened. Other things that will fall under, I guess, this category of gifts is reborning. Brings me great joy. It is one of the ways I heal myself. As y'all know, I can't have children. And I did start out as a collector, which I did love. I loved the whole, holding the baby, the art of the baby, changing the baby. Y'all know I'm about the clothes and the hair. But once I started painting, it just, I don't know. There's something so magical and healing to me about the whole process of reborning. And that is the gift to me. I just am so restored in this room. This is like my little oasis. I look at my house as my sanctuary. But this is my little special oasis where I come to just create, and it is a way I restore my soul. Photography is also another one. I have loved photography since I was a small girl. I have so many photographs, it's not even funny. Tens of thousands of photographs. It is just something I love. Crocheting, as y'all know, I do enjoy crocheting very much. I've been doing that for many, many years. So yeah, I guess those are some of the gifts and things that I do that I love. And I guess number 6, I'll say hobbies, because to me the art of painting is separate than the hobby of reborning itself. So obviously one of the hobbies I love is my reborns. I enjoy very much walking in here, and as I've said before, each baby is like capturing a moment frozen in time. And for people who have spent time with children or have had children, there's always been this stage where you just want to freeze them, where you just want time to stand still. For me, it's always been around the 18-month mark, 16 to 18 months, somewhere in there. There's just something that I just want time to and it lasts for about 3 weeks and then poof, it's gone. I don't know what's magical to me about those few weeks. It just is. Also newborns. I love, love, love those first few days. Oh, if I could just freeze. So hence I have lots of tinies. I love tiny babies. And I love, I don't have a baby that represents a 16 to 18 month old. My bigger girls are about the size of a 6 to 9 month old, which is also a fabulous phase. I guess I could get a bigger one and put on the rocking chair, but Raggedy Ann might not be happy about that, but oh well. Anyway, at this point I have no intention of getting a baby that big, but I'm just saying that is for me such a magical time. As a hobby for me, this is something I love. Other hobbies I love are reading. Thank you very much, Mandy, for the book recommendation. That absolutely sounds so like a book I will love. It's so funny because I love the feeling of books. I have an entire book collection. And I remember when ebooks came out, the Kindle and Sony and different ones came out with them. And I did not want one. I thought I would hate that, and for the most part, I'm not saying I do hate it. I really think it's an amazing product. I did get one when I went to Ethiopia because there was no way I could carry enough books in my suitcase to last me for the 6 months I was going to be gone. So for things like that, I love it. My husband gifted me a Kindle a couple of years ago, and when I travel, I do use it because, again, it's just easier to carry in and out of, my camera bag, and nothing will damage the pages because I don't like to dog ear or get my pages bent. So from that standpoint, they are good, but I tend to read paper books more than the ebook. Unless I'm traveling, I'm reading a paper book. Obviously, I love birds, bird watching and taking care of my free birds. They bring me a lot of joy. That's another hobby. I checked on my eggs this morning. They're all 5 still there. Haven't seen Mama for the past couple of days, and I don't know if she's hiding from all the rain because we had some storms, like I said yesterday, and we're supposed to get more today. But it was really sweet. One of the eggs actually has a rose petal fell off and landed on an egg. So I thought, oh, that egg is extra cozy and smells so lovely. I don't know what the mama bird will think. She might take it off when she comes back, or she might think one of her eggs is gone. I don't know. Other hobbies, cross-stitching, I haven't done for a while. I'm in the middle of a cross-stitch that I'm actually going to keep for myself, which is, of course, why I'm not working on it. I own nothing I've cross-stitched. Everything I've made over the years I've given away. And this I was making for us. And it was getting very hard for my eyes. So right before we moved here, I did go get my eyes checked. And I needed bifocals, but literally my new glasses were coming in the week I was going to have to drive from Ohio to Texas. And I didn't think it was wise to adapt to bifocals on a road trip. So I opted to just get regular glasses for a while. And I really do need to go get that sorted out. Let me take y'all off the tripod and sit down, and that way I can move y'all around a bit. But anyway, so I do love cross-stitching very much. There's something very magical to watch this piece of cloth turn into a picture in front of your eyes. If anybody cross-stitches, you know what I mean. Plus, it's all about counting, which is numbers. Numbers bring me great joy. Oh, I don't think I have room to say numbers, but I'll throw it in there with hobbies. Other hobbies, I love swimming. I love movies. I try to watch, 1 or 2 movies on the weekend. I do enjoy movies. There's a couple in the theater I'd like to see right now. I want to see the Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. I forget the title of it. That might be the title. And then there's one with Sally Field that looks good, but have to make some time to do that. Let's see. Number 7 is cooking and baking. I love, love, love to cook and bake, and I will try not to mention foods. Sorry, Virginia. I absolutely love, especially for company. I love, as I've said, to feed people, not literally. I do enjoy cooking for crowds, and I love trying new recipes and new foods. My body doesn't always like that, but I certainly do enjoy it. I'm not somebody who measures. So if you taste something once at my house and you really like it and ask me to make it again, it may never taste the same. I kind of just throw things in a bowl or in a pan or whatever I'm using, and hope for the best. I do very much enjoy it. It's an art form to me, and I'm very picky about my presentation. I like my plates and my serving dishes all to look beautiful. I very much love to cook and bake. I know there's a lot of people that like to cook and a lot of people that like to bake, and I have a couple of friends who both like to cook and bake, but most of my friends are one or the other. So I will say cooking and baking would be my 7th. My 8th will be water, and I'm drinking water is not what I'm talking about, but I do love drinking water. I'm talking about large bodies of water, especially oceans. Oceans, lakes, rivers, streams. I love water. It is where I feel closest to God. Not that I don't feel close to God in other places. When I stand next to an ocean, especially when you really can't see anything but water, like natural things, maybe birds, but like no boats or anything, just the awesomeness of God. I just, you realize how in the grand scheme of things, how very, very tiny you are. And I'm not talking about size. I'm just talking about, the billions of people on this planet, trillions. I mean, there's just so many people, and there I am next to this huge body of water. I mean, I can't even describe emotionally how I feel by water. I am currently landlocked. I am not near the kind of water my soul loves. I think I'm probably about 5 hours away from the ocean, maybe, but it's somewhere I do enjoy going to restore myself. I love water. I also feel very, very close to God just out in nature when I'm in fields or even in my backyard. I don't know, there's something about, I think churches should be outside. I think I've said that before. I don't know, there's just something, I don't know, just nature. But water is what fuels my soul. I just love water, bodies of water. Number 9, something I love is helping others, people that are in need, homeless people, children, orphans. I think it is very important for me. I know not everybody has this calling, but I feel very drawn to help people. It is something I love to do very, very much. I have since I was a small girl. I don't know, my heart pulls in that way. It always has. So that is something I love to do. And again, in the future, I would love to do more, especially in Africa. It is my heart, ladies. Africa is, don't get me started on Africa because, that I have to go back. I do have to go back, ladies, and say that one of my hobbies is travel. So that was what, 5 or 6 was hobbies. Travel is a huge hobby for me. I haven't traveled much in the past couple years, but it is, to me, the best way that I can expand who I am. I am somebody who learns by doing, and as much as I have always loved to read, and as a child, I'm a very visual person, so when I'm reading books that are descriptive, I get a picture in my head of what people look like and what the surroundings are, and so I was always able to travel through books growing up, and the very first, we would go out of state. We would go to like Michigan and Indiana and stuff. They were always road trips, which I am not discounting road trips. Believe me, I love road trips. But we went on my first plane when I was 9. We went to Florida, and that was fun. And I went on my first missions trip when I was 14. I went to Jamaica for 2 weeks. And that was my first trip without, I went with a group from church, but no family members went, and I just was completely hooked. Mentally, I was hooked before that, but, about doing, that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to see the world, and I have been blessed in my life, if you've seen my video where I list everywhere I've been, to have traveled a lot, because, as I said, I'm somebody who learns by doing, so while I could mentally visualize people and different cultures through reading, I have learned so much about myself and the world through travel. I don't frequent a lot of the touristy places when I go places. Yes, there are things that I found important to see historically wise, because we are such a young country. So when I go to older places, for example, China. Yes, I wanted to go on the Great Wall of China because the history behind that was just so fascinating. So yes, there are many historical places I have gone, but I love to go places and just get lost, walk around until I have no idea where I am, find locals, ask them where they eat, where do they shop. That to me is learning a place. I have a very adventurous spirit, which You'll hear about that in number 10. But I just, travel is such a huge part of me. It expands me in so many ways. It makes me a better human being. It makes me appreciate things. I love, 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 love travel. So that was one of my hobbies, which I think again was 6. And then number 10, I am just going to say I love life. I think it is very important for me that I use the time that I'm given on this earth for good and for beauty and just every day is a gift. Each day that I wake up, I thank God that I'm here. You know, it's just like when somebody gives you a gift. Gifts don't come with instructions. You get to do with them what you would like. And the same thing is each day. Each day is like a gift I'm given, and I can map it out and do with it what I like. I have choices to make. I can choose for it to be a good day. I can choose for it to be a bad day. And I'm not discounting people that have actual, issues with depression and stuff. I'm not trying to tell you that, it's about your choice. Don't even go there. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm talking for me. This is just me. I have a choice to make. And there are things that get me down, and there are times where I could entertain that, but I have to choose to carry on and find something good in every day. And it's about the simple things. Small things bring me so much joy, like those eggs in that bird nest are just so joyful for me. And when I see my cardinal lands or the doves come, or I don't know, it's always been very simple things to me. My husband will come in and thank me for, all the things I did in the house that day. He's very observant. And he's always grateful for the things that I do and appreciates me. And, again, just those little things are so joyful, to me. And as I said, I'm an adventurous person. I don't know if I shared this with you guys. When I was a young girl in Chicago, the public buses used to have this money box where you would drop your money in and it landed on a flat metal piece. And then the bus driver would push this button and everything would fall down into the safe. And so I always thought that would be so cool to push that. I don't know why, but I did. I was young, very young. I maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. I was young. And the bus driver offered to let me do it, and I nodded my head no. And I don't know why. And I will tell you, ladies, again, I'm somebody who learns from life's lessons, and anytime since then that somebody has asked me to do something, if my original gut instinct is to do it, I will remember that story and do it. Because I never want to. They don't make those buses like that anymore. And I'm not saying I live with regret. I mean, it was pushing a button and coins falling down. It's not a big deal. But from that, I learned to, if you're offered something and want to do it, because you may never get asked again. And I never was. And so that was a big life lesson for me. And so I'll remember a friend of mine who was teaching school in I believe she was teaching in Korea. I think she was in Korea. Anyway, she used to go over to China, and I had told her I was going to China, into Beijing, and she said go to the Great Wall. She told me there's 3 entry points. She told me where to enter. She told me you can luge down. Well, don't have to tell me twice about that. And we were up there walking and we couldn't find it, and we're about to turn around. I'm like, let's just keep walking a little further, and there it was. And I tell you, luging down from the Great Wall of China, fabulous. Again, will I ever get the opportunity to do it again? I don't know, but I embraced it because there I was. I do love roller coasters, paragliding, all that stuff I've done. I love. I so want to go skydiving one of these days. And I will, even if I'm 90 when I do it, but I will get it done, ladies, one of these days. So I just love life. I like to embrace each moment. I try to make the most of every single day. I do get a lot done in a day. For those of you who chat with me on Facebook or messages, I will be there, and then all of a sudden I think, oh, I need to go do this, and then I just kind of disappear. I go off and I do things. That's just kind of how I am. I get interrupted and do things, or my, washing machine will chime at me and I got to go tend to it, and then while I'm over there, I'm like, oh, I could iron while I'm here, or whatever. I don't know. I try to get a lot done in a day, ladies, but I try to embrace every day and live it to its fullest, and try to encourage people. I don't know. I just, it's the simple things, as I said. And I just am honored to know so many of you and blessed to have found this community. I hope that answers your question, Connie. Probably way more than you wanted, because I know you're new and my channel is, I can ramble, my friend. So anyway, as I said, I didn't get to watch too many videos this weekend. I did see there are a lot of people got their Saskia kits. So anyway, and I did see a few people have done this tag. And I hope other people do it, and go check out Connie's channel, which is Cherish My Dolls Everyone, and I will put a link down below. And let's give her continue to give her a warm welcome to the community. And she is waiting for her baby patiently. So anyway, ladies, have a fabulous day. And when I end my videos telling y'all to have a fabulous day, I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I do hope you go out there and do something fabulous for yourself, for someone else. Just embrace life. Find joy in this journey. Take care of you. Take care of those around you. Make sure you eat something good every day. I think that's a little, and love Jesus. Well, I love Jesus. And if you're married, love your husband, your spouse, whoever you're married to, love them, because they are a gift. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful day today. Hugs and blessings from us. Bye-bye.